Welcome to the Vipikai Lab, where we slow down, explore, and develop ourselves every day. Today's episode is called When Work and Life Rebalance After Pain, a topic for those who have ever felt lost and exhausted between work and personal life. We will look back on the journey of overcoming crisis, learn how to set boundaries, and most importantly, find balance from within if you are looking for a deeper, more authentic and sustainable pace of life. Stay until the end of the episode. Balance is not the absence of storms, balance is. Knowing how to stand firm in the midst of them. There was a time when I thought I would never find peace again. The months of being immersed in pain made me believe that life was just a series of tired, empty and aimless days. Every morning when I woke up, it was a battle. Not with anyone else, but with myself, to get up, to survive, to continue even though my heart had no hope left. Work used to be my passion, something I was proud of, but then, without me realizing it, it became a burden. Every meeting was a struggle to stay calm. Every work email was a needle piercing my already fragile patience. I gradually lost faith in what I was doing, and even in myself I began to wonder, am I the only one who feels exhausted? Am I just too weak when everyone around me keeps running nonstop? But the more I tried to be like them, the more I lost myself. I no longer felt the meaning in my work. What once made me feel alive now felt empty and mechanical. The price of trying hard was that I forgot my true feelings. I sacrificed my peace of mind to chase after measures of success that did not belong to me. Waking up every morning shouldn't be torture. Work shouldn't be a place that kills the spirit. When I realized that, I knew I needed to make a change, not to give up, but to find myself again in a work journey that is more meaningful and kind to my soul. I used to think that putting my personal feelings aside was the way to be more professional, but the more I did that, the more tired I felt, distant from myself and my loved ones. Gradually, I no longer knew where the boundary between me at work and me in real life was. Everything overlapped, chaotic, and drained my inner strength until one day, I started to look deeply into how I was living and realized work is just a part of life, important. Yes, but it shouldn't take up all my space. I can't live a full life if all my energy is sucked into meetings, numbers, and endless goals. I learned to step back, make room for other things that are equally important: family, friends, health, and quiet moments to reconnect with myself, because in the end, a life worth living is not about how much you do, but about how much you are truly present in your own life. After realizing that work shouldn't be my whole life, I started learning to do the little things again. I used to believe I had to be available and ready for every request, every invitation, every responsibility, but the truth is, it was that lack of boundaries that burned me out. I learned to manage my time, not so much to get more done, but to live more deeply. I broke down tasks into manageable chunks, set clear breaks in my day where I did nothing but breathe, drink water, or simply watch the clouds drift by. I also learned to say, no, it's a skill. And it was hard at first, but as I started saying no to things that weren't really important, I found myself slowly taking back control of my life. I spend more time with my family. Meals are no longer interrupted by work messages. I get back to my body, sleep on time, eat well, exercise gently, and most importantly, I spend time with myself to listen, to come back to myself, to know that I am living, not just existing. Since I learned to set boundaries, my life is no longer a race without a finish line. It has become a journey that has rhythm, meaning, and is full of humanity. I used to think that if I wanted to be successful, I had to make trade-offs, sacrifice my personal time, endure constant pressure, ignore my emotions, even give up important relationships. But the further I went on that journey, the more lost I felt. On the outside, I might be doing fine, still meeting my goals, still getting compliments, but on the inside, I was falling apart. I was tired, disconnected from myself and missing the things that had motivated me: family, love, and passionate. Was those moments of collapse that forced me to look back. Is success really worth it if it makes me no longer myself? From there, I began to redefine success, no longer as a destination measured by money or status, but as fulfillment from within when I can do the work I love and still have time for dinner with my loved ones, when I can spend an afternoon listening to my favorite music, without rushing, without guilt, when I live not just to achieve goals, but to feel each passing moment I learn to balance. Work and personal life, responsibilities and inner needs. I no longer strive for perfection. Instead, I choose abundance and love and health. And the simple things of each day. Success to me now is living fully with the things I love: work, family, love, and passion. No longer sacrificing one to have the other, but coexisting together nurturing a meaningful life. Before, I used to think that being productive meant working really fast, really hard, without stopping, without giving myself time to slow down. But after a long journey with many times of exhaustion, I realized speed is not everything. There are values that only come when we are calm enough to live and work with a peaceful mind. When I learned to slow down, not to procrastinate, but to be fully present in what I was doing. I took the time to think before I acted, to listen before I responded, to understand my emotions before I made a decision. The magic was when I wasn't working in a state of stress or haste. Everything became clearer. I found myself making fewer mistakes, being more creative, and connecting better with my colleagues. Tasks that used to feel overwhelming now feel effortless because I do them with purpose and intention. Productivity doesn't come from pushing yourself too hard. It comes from being calm enough to really listen to what you want, sober enough to see what's necessary, and loving enough not to push yourself beyond your limits. If you're feeling burned out, confused between work and life, it might be time to take a break, not to quit, but to find balance. I know how it feels. It feels like everything is pulling you in different directions and you're trying to please everyone but yourself. But the truth is, you can't take care of others. You can't do your job well. If you're running out of steam inside, the first thing you need to do is not try harder, but take a step back. Look at your life and ask yourself, where are my boundaries? What's really important to me right now? Learn to prioritize yourself, not out of selfishness, but because you deserve to be nurtured. Restored and fully alive. Start small. Turn off your phone after work. Take a work-free evening. Or simply allow yourself to rest without feeling guilty. Change doesn't happen overnight. But every small step you take, every time you choose to listen to yourself instead of forcing yourself, is a significant shift. Little by little, you're rebuilding your life in a healthier, gentler way, and on that journey, you will see peace is not a destination, but the way we walk every day in the journey to return to ourselves and find balance. It is not only important to recognize the problem, but also to apply those lessons to our daily lives. That is why I dedicate episode 10 to sharing the process of rebirth. Not a single moment of splendor, but a series of small, quiet yet profound changes. I'll tell you how I put my new insights into each choice, from starting my mornings more gently to resetting work expectations, nurturing relationships, and taking practical care of myself. Rebirth doesn't mean becoming a completely new person, but gradually returning to the truest and most peaceful version of ourselves every day. We have a chance to start over. Not perfectly, just sincerely. If you're on that journey, I hope episode 10 will be a gentle stop, where you can listen, reflect, and move forward, stronger, more self-loving. Thank you for listening to the VBK Lab. Hopefully today's story about balancing work and life after pain has touched a part of you. If you find this episode valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with your loved ones. You can also leave a comment below to tell me about your journey. because every share can be a light for someone going through the darkness. See you in the next episode with a very special topic: rebirth, learning how to apply what you learn to life. Remember, every day is an opportunity to rebirth yourself, sending you a sky full of love.